You know, it seems like Donald Trump has no end of the resources that he has to trot out fake, false news or absolute lies when it comes to his unceasing attack on President Obama. Now, the woman that you see there is Kayleigh McEnany, and she is a Trump surrogate who appears quite often on CNN and Fox News. For whatever reason, they will not book her on MSNBC, and the reasons are obvious. Miss McEnany, the other day, told a straight-out, bald-faced lie about President Obama golfing while an American journalist was beheaded back in 2002. And there have been numerous stories out there about her quote-unquote mistake. For those of you who don't know it, Daniel Pearl was an American journalist who ISIS, Al-Qaeda, whoever, the terrorists overseas, beheaded in 2002. Miss McEnany was jumping on President Obama to the defense of Donald Trump on all of the golfing that Mr. Trump is doing. And she made the claim that in 2002, and actually she didn't use the year because she would have gagged herself. But she made the claim that President Obama went golfing as this American journalist was beheaded. Well, in 2002, President Obama wasn't president. He was in the Illinois State House. So that in itself just goes to show that facts really didn't matter to Miss McEnany or to the Republicans, particularly Mr. Trump, since she is a surrogate. Now, she made that claim on CNN, which goes out, obviously, to a national audience. The firestorm was such that instead of apologizing on CNN or Fox News, she went to her Twitter page and issued a quote-unquote apology. You know, like the ones that Fox did when they were talking about the no-go cities in the United Kingdom, and they gave these bullshit apologies, which really weren't. Actually, I take that back. There were one or two that were given that were actual apologies. The apology that I'm thinking about that was total bullshit was Jeanine Pirro's apology. Well, this broad has done it again. And yeah, I did say broad, okay? She does not know the difference between transparency and spinning a bullshit lie. She went on CNN this morning and basically said that Mr. Nunes, the chairman for the House Intelligence Committee, was being totally transparent in when he made his statements to the press about the information. And it wasn't, he didn't even tell us what the information was, but that the president basically was being surveilled. And it has been coming out that it was the White House that basically provided the information to this guy, and he basically tried to use subterfuge in presenting that information to the press, including making up a phony story that he had to go rushing in to the White House to let them know what was going on. Well, I guess it's transparency when the White House and the NSA, which is underneath the White House and has an office directly in the White House, has two of its operatives and one White House attorney that met with this guy, gave him the information. He goes running back out to the press, giving them a bullshit story, and then goes running into the White House, acting like he's providing them with fresh information. They already had this information, okay? And now the House Intelligence Committee is under a major cloud. And the only way that this cloud is going to be lifted is for this guy to take a walk. But back to this woman. She basically was on with Ana Navarro, and Ana Navarro ran up one side of Mr. Nunes and down the other, and also jumped up and down on the Trump administration. Well, Miss McEnany was not going to have any of that. But because she did not have a proper defense, she turned around and did what all Republicans who don't have a leg to stand on do. She conflated. She mixed metaphors. What she did was she tried to equate the potential collusion of the Trump administration and the Russians with the surveillance of U.S. citizens and the unmasking of names. I will grant you that the surveillance of U.S. citizens is a violation of the Fourth Amendment, okay? And the unmasking of names is wrong. But they are two separate issues. And what she tried to do this morning was to pull both of those situations together and claim that one was just as egregious as the other, and that both need to be investigated with the same fervor, because obviously they are both equally as bad for the United States. That is absolutely wrong. It's one thing for someone to surveil, and don't get me wrong, that is a bad thing. But that would hurt one citizen, then maybe 10 citizens, maybe 100 citizens, maybe 1,000 citizens, okay? I'm not going to state that it's not a bad thing, especially if it's done over much. But when a national election is impacted and a specific leader is put into place, that impacts 350 million Americans, okay? And it impacts them immediately. So, Mr. Trump, you need to stop pulling out these pieces of eye candy that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, and get some credible people out there. And honestly, you need to come to Jesus, because there's a whole lot more that's going on that the American people need to know, and we know that you're hiding a bunch. If the people who are in the know come clean, and we're talking about Manafort, we're talking about Michael Flynn and others, start spilling the beans, you are going to be in for a rude awakening, as will the rest of us.